Now, for many years, retirement has been seen by sportsmen and sportswomen as an end to careers built over many years, sacrifice and hard work. But now it's turning into the beginning of a new phase of their careers, a continuation of their stories in which they keep doing what they love. International sporting federations have worked tirelessly to introduce the same disciplines, but for the older generation, famously known as masters competitions. Athletics are doing it, swimming are doing it, and now football has followed suit with a new style of play, the walking football, which is slowly taking root in Kenya and Africa as a whole. Let's take a look and a listen.
Created in 2011 by John Crute and introduced in Kenya last October, walking football under the guidance of Ambassador Ricky Weir is also finding growth in Kenya, with the aim of seeing Kenya play at the first time at the World Nations Cup in 2027.
Walking football is a growing sport around the world. I cannot say offhand how many countries. I have a dual role. I'm the ambassador for walking football for Africa, so I aim where I can, whilst I'm already in Africa, with other projects I have, to promote the game. I already was successful in doing so in both Rwanda in 2019 and in Nigeria in 2020, and both of those countries mobilised and took a team to the first ever World Nations Cup for walking football, which took place in England in 2023. And they are also returning for the second edition of the World Nations Cup, which will take place this year in Spain at the end of October.
The game targets players aged above 40 years, preferably retired footballers.
Kenya right now are just at the beginning stages, but in terms of the objective, and I shared it with these players at the start, the objective for them and others would be to develop well enough through the legends, through probably the existing football clubs that are here in Kenya, you know, Leopards, Matari United, Police, to create a walking football division. And from there they can become a Kenya walking football national team, which the next step clearly then would be for them. My dream would be for a Kenya walking football national team to be taking part in the 2027 edition of the World Nations Cup for walking football.
Unlike the traditional football, walking football has rules that are mindful of the age category.
I'll give you some key differences. Of course, the obvious one is it's walking, not running. There are different facets of not walking. So, for example, side skipping would be an infringement, even though it's not technically running. So that's the basic and fundamental difference. There is no heading of the ball. The principal reason for that is for health and safety, where it's a sport mainly for older age groups. So that's going to minimise any chances of injury. The ball, when played overhead height, that would be called as a foul. And most importantly, it's a non-contact sport. You can block the ball, you can in front, you can protect the ball, but there's no contact, and that's again would be called as an infringement. In our version of the sport, if a player would make 3 infringements, they would receive a blue card, which is a sin bin of 4 minutes or 10% of game time, and generally a game is 20 minutes each way, total 40 minutes, so 10% is 4 minutes. So a sin bin time would be 4 minutes off the field, where you have to play with a player less. The goalkeeper's area is protected. The goalkeeper cannot come out the area, but also the players cannot go in the area. Infringements on that would be, depending on who makes the infringement, if a goalkeeper would come out the area, it's a penalty. If a defender would go in the area, it's a penalty. And then if an attacker would go in the area, it's simply an award, a goal kick to the goalkeeper. So those would be the fundamental differences between regular football and walking football. However, and importantly to me, the key facets of the game still remain. It's a passing and moving game. And the teams that can pass the ball, control the ball, the best and move both with and without the ball the best will be the teams who generally will win the game.
The manner in which the sport is played promotes cardiovascular fitness while reducing stress on the body.
The sport is aimed for two different directions. For communities, to encourage anybody who wants to play to come out and get on the field, get some exercise, get some social inclusion, get some social interaction. Many older people in this day and age can face issues of loneliness, being by themselves for long periods of time, and this is a great opportunity to integrate and have some exercise and have some sport. And the second facet is what I would call the competitive side, where it's an opportunity for ex-footballers who no longer can play because at 11-a-side it's too fast, it's too physical. Here's an opportunity to come back and rekindle their glory days, perhaps, get back on the field when they thought their days were over, meet up again with old teammates, play against old foes. And if they can do that through the infrastructure of their clubs, then you rekindle also that social inclusion as well as the exercise. And of course, there's the cherry on the cake, can I be selected to play for my national team and get to a World Cup in the future, which very few people have achieved in their life. And this is another angle for football and sport, which these players you see behind me could well be doing in the next 2 years.
The game was originally played without goalkeepers, and different footballs are used in the indoor and outdoor variations of the sport.
It's also a mixed sport. It can be mixed. So if you don't, in the early days, if you don't have enough women taking part, they can join with the men. Because the physicality has been taken out of the game, women can compete and can be actually very good when playing with men, because they're not being justified by not being able to run so fast, not being so strong, because there's no contact and there's no running. So they're just being judged on their ability to, receive the ball, control the ball, understand football, pass the ball well, move well. So women, some teams will go to the World Cups with a mixed team if they weren't able to put together a separate men and women's team.
Similar slower-paced sports include walking netball, walking rugby, walking basketball, walking hockey and walking cricket.
It's not what I can do, it's what they can do. I would love it to happen, but the people who I'm not the one who'll make it happen. The people you see behind me and around are the people who will make it happen. I'm here as a guiding light, but not the one who's going to make it happen.
Buckley Feather, Legends Edition Sports.